Skyler Ryan.
And I'm Ryan Vidalis.
And we're here to talk about the 2016 Major League Baseball season preview. Let's start off with the American League West. We picked the Houston Astros to clinch the division.
Yeah, there's not much competition in this division. The Texas Rangers are a great team, but the Houston Astros just take the cake in this situation. Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, Jake Mariz, Nick Colby Rasmus, George Springer, all young guys. They also bring in Carlos Gomez as a DH, who can provide a lot of power in that lineup. And, of course, you can't forget about Dallas Keuchel in that starting rotation.
Yeah, Dallas Keuchel, American League Cy Young Award winner last season, definitely was one of the key factors in Houston going far in the postseason.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Houston go far again. This can be a really deep team. This can be a scary team come the postseason.
Definitely. Also, in the American League Central, you got the reigning champions, the Kansas City Royals.
I think these Royals come in as the favorite, and it's rightfully so. They have a great lineup out there with Alex Gordon, Eric Hosmer, Salvador Perez, Mike Moustakas, Lorenzo Cain, and Kenji Morales, who can all provide great power for them. Their starting pitching is a little iffy this year. They have Edison Boyes in the number one spot, so we got to see how they deal with that.
Yeah, their lineup is absolute fire.
Agreed. But we do have Chicago winning that wild card spot, the first wild card spot. I just think they're such a great power team out there. You got Jose Abreu, you got Todd Frazier, who's a new addition to the team, but he was also the reigning home run derby champion come last year. Chris Sale, solid pitcher in that number one spot. They have Matt Latos out there as an addition to add some depth to that rotation. Good guys to put in there. Malky Cabrera, Alex Avila, Adam Eaton. They can all provide great power for this lineup. And I can see them maybe even making an upset in that first divisional round and see what they can do for the rest of the postseason. I can see this team going really far too.
Oh yeah, definitely Chicago coming from the shadows, adding Todd Frazier, a key trade in the off season. We picked the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League East to have the best record in the league, and that's rightfully so.
Agreed. This is such a good team. They're probably one of my favorite teams to watch in the whole league. You have Jose Bautista, Josh Donaldson, the reigning MVP of last season for the American League, Russell Martin, Edwin Encarnacion, Troy Tulowitzki is an insane lineup. Those are just five guys who could add some insane power to your lineup, and I think come the postseason, these guys take the cake. It's no question with this one. They just have such good pitching, such good hitting. They lose David Price this season. Marcus Stroman's a great number one, yet to prove himself, but I think he has enough talent to do so.
That Jose Bautista, Josh Donaldson, and Tulowitzki is definitely fire.
Yeah.
But then you also got the New York Yankees in the mix. You got Tanaka adding Aroldis Chapman, even though he has served that 30-day suspension. You got the veterans like Carlos Beltran, Alex Rodriguez. Definitely one of the teams to look out for.
Yeah, they're a historically good team, and when postseason comes around, I don't see them going too far because of that starting rotation. But you know what? These guys are veterans. They've been here before. Adding Starlin Castro is a great addition to the team. He's a great shortstop over there. Mark Teixeira has always been a great player. Carlos Beltran, Jacoby Ellsbury, Brett Gardner, and A-Rod just a legend. This team is going to be okay this year. I could see them getting that second wild card spot, but they're definitely a team to watch out for this season.
Look at their division. It's obviously one of the tougher divisions in the league. You got Boston with David Price, Hanley Ramirez, Pablo Sandoval, David Ortiz.
Yeah.
Then you got Baltimore with Chris Davis, Manny Machado, Adam Jones, with the addition of Tampa Bay with Evan Longoria.
Yeah, all these teams are really scary, and to come out of this division alive is going to be really tough for these guys. But you know what? I think they both have the power to do so.
That's for sure. We're going to head over to the National League Central.
My favorite.
Oh, yeah. You got the Chicago Cubs with Jake Arrieta, Chris Bryant, Dexter Fowler, John Lester, Anthony Rizzo, Ben Zobrist, Addison Russell, and Jason Hayward.
You know, those are all some great names you just listed right now. Jake Arrieta is probably one of the best young pitchers in the whole league.
Don't forget Cy Young from last season.
Oh, definitely. Chris Bryant, one of the best rising stars in this league. He was in the home run derby last year, even in the All-Star game last year. Dexter Fowler has been a man who's always been really reliable out there in center. They add John Lester to the lineup, which can add some great pitching for him. Anthony Rizzo, Ben Zobrist, Addison Russell, and Jason Hayward, just great guys to fill in for the rest of the lineup. I can see these guys going really far. Even I might say that they even have the best record in the whole National League, but we'll have to see it as the season plays on.
I think they're definitely World Series contenders.
Definitely.
But, I mean, look at their division. They got the Cardinals, the Pirates, the Brewers, and the Reds. The Cardinals always a team to watch out for.
Yeah, I can see the Cardinals are the dark horse in this division. They always have great pitching, where they have Adam Wainwright, Michael Wacha, Jaime Garcia, and all around they're a great team. Just really good guys, great veterans. You add Matt Carpenter, Colton Wong into the mix. Those are both great, young, powerful hitters out there. You have Yadier Molina, who of course is their veteran catcher. Just a great team overall. I can see them going very far in the postseason if they're given the chance.
That's for sure. The Cardinals always show up in the postseason.
Agreed.
Let's head over to the National League East, where we pick the Washington Nationals to clinch the division.
These guys are amazing, man. These guys just, oh my goodness, they're stacked. Bryce Harper out there, Daniel Murphy from the New York Mets last year. He did some damage in the postseason with all his home runs. Ryan Zimmerman, always reliable out there at third base. I think he might even be switching to first base this year, but nonetheless, he's a great player. Danny Espinosa, Jason Worth, Ben Revere to round out their star players this coming year. And these guys have the best potential, I think, to make a World Series run. They might not get there because the Dodgers are there in the mix too, but you never know. Bryce Harper, one of the best young players in the league, MVP last year. You just never know. Baseball is a tricky sport, but if you're going off potential, I think these guys take the cake and win this.
That's for sure, especially with their manager change to Dusty Baker. But you also got New York in their division with Jacob deGrom, Noah Syndergaard, Matt Harvey, David Wright, Yoenis Cespedes, and Curtis Granderson, also making it extremely far into the postseason. You got Miami, who just added Don Mattingly, D. Gordon, Giancarlo Stanton. You got a stacked division right there.
Yeah, Miami's also had a soft spot in my heart. D. Gordon has been a great player. He's probably one of the best young players in the whole league at second base for them. This is a great team overall. I can see them maybe being a dark horse contender in this division, but out of the three teams we listed, I think New York and Washington both get out alive.
That's for sure. New York, Washington, definitely two teams to watch out for.
Agreed.
Let's head over to the National League West, where we pick the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, yep, no bias with this one, right, Skyler?
Nope.
Okay, yeah, no, because we're both huge Dodger fans or anything. But you know what? Not bias, all bias aside, the Dodgers are a great team this year. They added Clayton Kershaw. He's always been reliable. He's probably one of the best pitchers in the whole league. Adrian Gonzalez solid out there at first base. Young guys like Corey Seager and Yasiel Puig. Yasmani Grandal is great behind the plate. You have veterans like Chase Utley and Andre Ethier. And they also have the addition of Kenta Maeda, who came from Japan to come pitch for the Dodgers. So I think it's going to be a great season for them.
Yeah, the Dodgers' new front office with President of Baseball Operations Andrew Friedman definitely spiced the team up a lot in the postseason. I mean, you traded your ace, Zach Greinke, to a team in your division. What do you think about that, Ryan?
I think it's really crazy, but that just kind of shows the confidence that Andrew Friedman has in his team, and especially adding Dave Roberts as their new manager. I think he's ready to hand the torch off to a guy who's hasn't really been around the managerial position a lot. But, it's a young guy. He used to be a former player for the Dodgers. He can probably relate to these players better than Don Mattingly could. As for Zach Greinke, I think he's a great pitcher. He was their second in the lineup. He was also in the NL Cy Young picture for a while throughout the season. It's a little iffy because the Diamondbacks have the potential to be a good team, but I think Andrew Friedman did a great job. Got some good prospects in the process. So I think the Dodgers will be okay, and they'll be fine.
I think so too, but you got Zach Greinke and Shelby Miller as the Diamondbacks' 1-2 punch, along with Paul Goldschmidt, AJ Pollock, Chris Owings. You got a fire lineup right there.
You do, and you also have to watch out for the Giants. Johnny Cueto was their newest pitcher added to the team. Madison Bumgarner is also great. You have Jeff Samardzija also added, and as Dodger fans, we hate this guy, but you have to respect the talent. Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, Brandon Crawford. This lineup is actually really good. I have to admit, but I don't see them beating the Dodgers this season. I don't know if that's the bias talking or anything, but I just can't see it. I just don't.
The Giants are always a good team.
Agreed.
Their lineup is always fire. The rotation is absolute insane. But, they got a lot of postseason history in the even years. So we'll see how the National League West turns out.
Yeah, and we're going to go to the playoffs really quick. So in the wild card, we have the Cardinals versus the Mets. I see the Cardinals' veteran presence getting out alive of that battle. Just a great pitching rotation. You never know with these guys. They'll probably have to start Wainwright and versus probably Syndergaard or even DeGrom. But the Cardinals have a great veteran presence, especially with Yadier Molina behind the plate. You have Colton Wong and Matt Carpenter who can come in clutch at the end of the game. I definitely see the Cardinals making it out of that matchup. So I think we're going to hand it over to Skyler to talk about the NLDS.
Oh yeah, you got a matchup made in heaven with the Dodgers and the Nationals. It's rotation against rotation. It's ultimately going to be a pitching duel till the death.
Yeah.
Definitely something to watch out for, Dodgers versus Nationals. We also got Cubs and Cardinals, where we have Jake Arrieta and Michael Wacha and Adam Wainwright. But you got to keep in mind, Wainwright is coming off of a season in the DL from last season.
Definitely.
So we'll see how this plays out. But we picked the Dodgers and the Cubs to make it to the National League Championship Series.
Yeah, and this is a really difficult matchup to call because these are the two top teams, in my opinion, in the whole National League. You know what? I think it's time for the Dodgers to shine. I think they get out of this one. I think the rotation will eventually catch up to the Cubs. Yes, they have Jake Arrieta, but they don't have a lot after him. They have John Lester, which can provide some good depth in the later days of the season. Yeah, I just see the Dodgers getting out of that one. They have solid veteran presence back at the Dodgers lineup. So, you know what? I can see the Dodgers making it to the World Series this year.
We're going to throw it over to the White Sox versus the Orioles for wild card. You got the White Sox with Todd Frazier and the Orioles with Chris Davis. Definitely something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting one. I do see the White Sox getting out alive with all their power. But, we'll just have to wait and see how that one goes. In the ALDS, we have the Astros facing the Royals, which is a rematch of last year. The Astros didn't make it out alive last year, and the Royals did. And I can see things changing this year. I think that the Astros are a stronger team overall this year. They did lose Scott Kazmir to the Dodgers, but I think overall as a team, they have much improved, and they can give the Royals a challenge, a run for their money.
Oh yeah, we also picked the Blue Jays and the White Sox for the American League Division Series. You got Blue Jays with Jose Bautista and his legendary bat flip. And then you have again the White Sox with Chris Sale and Matt Latos. And we picked the Blue Jays and the Astros to move on to the championship series.
Yeah, again, I said it before, and they're one of my favorite teams to watch. The Blue Jays, they're an amazing team. Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion with the power in that lineup. I just see them beating the Astros. Young pitching rotation to the death. So we have the Blue Jays versus the Dodgers. And as a Dodgers fan, it hurts me to say this, but I really do see the Blue Jays winning it. I think it's their time to shine. The Blue Jays are a fantastic team, a fantastic organization, as well as the Dodgers. But the power eventually will catch up to the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw has never been that great of a postseason pitcher, and I think this is a team that can expose his weaknesses, if you will.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are definitely a good team all around. You got good pitching, good outfield, good infield, everything.
Yeah, so we also made some predictions of awards, and we're going to make 3 really quick. So the manager of the year for the AL, we have Robin Ventura from the Chicago White Sox taking a team from the dumps and making them World Series contenders. And the first-year coach out of the NL for the Dodgers, Dave Roberts, we have him winning the manager of the year in the NL.
And we have a rookie of the year from the National League is the Dodgers' very own Corey Seager.
Agreed. I think he's a great player. Dodgers fans have been watching him for a few years. He comes this year as their starting shortstop. Might even play some third base if Justin Turner gets hurt throughout the season. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a great pick. You also have Joey Gallo, who's one of the best young players in the whole league from Texas Rangers. Just a great player, comes into that lineup as a solid third baseman. Is a great player overall, can use the bat. He's very efficient. Had a great batting average last year. I think we need to see how this progresses. You also have some great players from Byron Buxton for the Minnesota Twins, but I really think that Joey Gallo takes this one.
And then we have one of my favorite pitchers in the league as an ERA leader is National League's Max Scherzer.
Yeah, you're a pitching girl, so I'm going to let you take this one right here. Dallas Keuchel's also a great player for the AL. We have him winning. But why do you think Scherzer is the ERA leader in the National League?
Well, Max Scherzer, coming from the Diamondbacks to Tigers, then to the Nationals, had 2 no-hitters last season.
That's insane. It's actually crazy if you think about.
Absolutely insane.
That's insane.
Was fired during the first half of the season with his first no-hitter, struggled a little bit in the second half, but came back to get his second no-hitter of the season during his last start. We also have Dallas Keuchel as an ERA leader. Last season's American League Cy Young is definitely somebody to watch again. We believe that he's going to take the Houston Astros deep into the postseason once again and lead the league in ERA.
So that's all we have here for our podcast. I hope you guys check out some more podcasts we have in the future. And we want to thank you for listening, and we'll see you all later.